had been previously in recovery for close to 10 years. And my fall from grace was gradual and then became very public when I got arrested. And, that was quite a thing. Miss Phillips, you have the right to remain silent. I'm like, wait, you're arresting me? Oh my God, they're actually, they're arresting me. It was a trip. And all I could think was, I'm somebody's mother. I am Shane's mom. And Shane doesn't know. Now, Shane, of course, knew that I was in recovery and that I had, because our family is riddled with, substance use disorders and mental health issues. But, your mom gets arrested and it's the lead story on the local news. It was very hard for my boy.
Yeah, I'm
it was
sure.
hard it was hard on a lot of levels. And I had already begun the process of shopping an idea for a memoir before the arrest, and then the arrest came, and then, man, just everything started happening. And that was a really crazy time. And the Oprah Winfrey interview on the day that the book was published, the day that it hit the stands, there was a lot of unrest and distress in my family, which has over the years gotten much better. Just in case anybody was wondering, there's a family thread. We all text and we're all in touch, and we spend time together whenever we can.
Was writing that book kind of a thing, like with like China and other members, or was that just kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you putting all this out there?
Only when it came time when they realized that the book was going to be an important event. I think that there was a thought that, oh yeah, Mackenzie's writing a book, no one's ever going to read it. And then Oprah came into play, and Simon and Schuster, a huge publishing house, came into play, and I think everybody got really upset. And I understand that. And had I known the distress it would have caused everybody on such a visceral level, I would certainly have considered doing things slightly differently. I certainly would not have decided to not tell my truth because my truth needed to be told. But I likely would have done it slightly differently. But hindsight being 2020, here we are.
I was just going to say, if they didn't think it was going to be a thing, I guess Simon and Schuster is one thing, but then, hello, Oprah Winfrey, then this
Exactly.
is real.
Yeah, it became a thing. And we have healed a lot of those wounds, and we're all back in love with each other, as brothers and sisters should be.
Was it harder to really write about, your addiction and like all of that in those dark days, or was it really because of all this stuff that happened, like with your father and like the sexual relationship?
It wasn't a relationship. It was sexual abuse.
Yeah.
First of all.
No, it's funny. I actually had a note to myself that when I asked that question, I literally, no joke. I literally said, as I was preparing for this, I don't know what the right word is. Like literally, like yes. I'm the first one to be like, I need to learn from this situation. I'm like, is this relationship or is it abuse?
Let me say this. When I wrote High on Arrival, I wasn't Googling, am I allowed to say this was a relationship, or should I call it sexual abuse, or, and when the book came, because I did call it a consensual relationship in the initial High on Arrival. And then when I was on Oprah and all of the massive amount of press that I did in the days after the release of the book, I was inundated on all social media platforms with private messages saying, this is not a consensual relationship. There is no such thing as consent, because the power dynamic between a parent and a child is so specific, and there's no such thing as consent. And then I really had to rethink, because I thought that I consented because I didn't scream and yell. I thought that I had consented for a myriad of reasons. And when I learned that I had been groomed, so when High on Arrival came out, big, huge, #3 bestseller on the New York Times list, and it was a media shitstorm, pardon my French. I really didn't expect that kind of backlash I really didn't. Maybe I was naive. I tend to be sort of, oh, everybody loves everybody and everyone's going to understand everybody else because that's what we should do as human beings. That didn't happen. And then when it came time for the paperback version of High on Arrival to come out, I petitioned my publishers to allow me to write an addendum, an additional chapter to the paperback to say, hey, look, thank you, because America, the world, schooled me and taught me more about my experience than I had known. And so that was quite a thing to be able to reframe that in such a way that was more appropriate.
Is that what the media shitstorm was? Was it that you're using the wrong word, like consensual versus?
I don't, no, I think everyone was just like the shocking allegations, and then people would say something like, well, yeah, of course you waited until he was dead because so he couldn't refute it. And then, but of course, had I done it when he was alive, they would have said, why didn't you wait till he was dead? So it's
Right.
rock meet hard place,
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Even though like I agree with you, like no regrets in life, like did you ever feel guilty towards like Valerie or like Bonnie of like, this or just your other castmates, like the show, like I let you all down in the sense that like Julie's not there now?
I don't think that's healthy. I have had the opportunity with Bonnie and Pat Harrington, who have both since passed, to make my amends. And of course, Valerie is a living amends on a daily basis. We're pals. I don't carry it that way. They did everything they could to help me or fix me or try and shift me, and I couldn't. And then, when I left the show, not of my own choice. And then when I came back, the ratings jumped back up again. And so it was it's what happens. And I got to tell you this, that as with High on Arrival, I had so many people say, you have given a voice to the voiceless. Others who have experienced this felt empowered to seek help or tell somebody. And, I believe that if High on Arrival had come out in the current climate of Me Too, the backlash would have been very, very almost like a whisper, because this was, prior to the Me Too movement, prior to everyone should have a platform and be believed. I remember watching at my home, sitting there and turning it on, and they have someone like, I don't know, it was one of the entertainment magazine TV shows that's national, and they had someone on there who was a body language expert, and they were watching me